I'm Alina Wang and welcome to Discovering China. Coming up this week, the story of Qu Yuan, the father of Chinese poetry, a traditional Chinese art form on display in Hong Kong, and why are mainland Chinese flocking to Taiwan? The poet Qu Yuan has been labeled the father of Chinese poetry. This historical figure lived over 2,000 years ago and now even has a festival celebrated in his honor. Here is his story.
Qu Yuan, from China's Warring States period, has come to be regarded as the father of Chinese poetry. He is remembered not only for his poetic achievements, but also for his strong sense of loyalty to his country. China, at the time, was divided into 7 states, constantly at war with one another. Qu was born into a branch of the royal clan of the Chu state, located in the eastern part of China. At that time, the most dominant of the 7 states was the Qin, located in the west. The Qin state was constantly looking for ways to conquer its smaller neighbors and had its eyes on Chu. Qu served as an official under King Huai of Chu. Qu was a trusted advisor of the king and strongly advocated an alliance with the other states against the larger Qin. However, the Qin had different plans. A Qin envoy, Jiang Yi, bribed several statesmen close to King Huai, ordering them to convince the king to turn against Qu. King Huai, misguided under the influence of political trickery, exiled Qu, sending him to the northeastern part of modern-day Hunan province. Thus the king had lost his #1 advisor and would soon pay the consequences. Not long after Qu was exiled, the Chu state once again fell prey to Qin's trickery. Under the pretense of peace, the Qin captured King Huai, holding him in captivity until his death. In the coming years, the Qin conquered the Chu capital, leaving the Chu state in shambles. Hearing the news of Chu's downfall, Qu, still in exile, drowned himself in the Milaw River, in a gesture of grief, frustration, and protest. Before he died, he left the poem Lament for Yin. How long can one man's lifetime last? In the end, we return to formlessness. I think of you waiting to die. 1,000 things cause me distress. Like other poets in Chinese history, Qu wrote some of his greatest works during his period of exile. In one of his greatest achievements, Qu annotated, edited, and contributed to the Verses of Chu, a large poetic collection which is one of the earliest collections of Chinese literature in history. Qu has since become a symbol for Chinese patriotism. Qu spoke out for the genuine good of his country and its people, eventually giving up his life when his country had fallen. The legacy of this patriotic poet lives on today. Legend has it that when Qu drowned himself in the waters of Milaw, local villagers and friends all came to save him, rowing boats into the middle of the river. They beat drums to keep the evil spirits away and even threw rice wrapped in leaves into the river as an offering to Qu's spirit. The wrapped rice has since become known as the famous Chinese food zongzi, and the act of rowing boats in the river has been commemorated by the tradition of dragon boat racing. Every year, on the Duanwu festival, Chinese people all over the world eat zongzi and race dragon boats, remembering the famous poet Qu Yuan and what he stood for.
We now go to Hong Kong to meet a master of a very special kind of Chinese decorative art, Jing Tai Lan.
Master Zhang Tonglu from Beijing created each of these beautiful pieces of Jing Tai Lan chinaware. The 71-year-old Zhang has toured the Beijing Palace Museum to get inspiration ever since he was young. Jing Tai Lan, also known as Chinese cloisonné, is an ancient art of decorating metal objects with enamel, gemstones, and other materials. It was believed that the technique was first introduced into China's Yunnan province during the Yuan dynasty, from 1271 to 1368 AD. The ancient technique was improved during the rule of the Ming Dynasty Emperor Xuan De from 1426 to 1435. Later, during the reign of Emperors Kangxi and Qianlong of the Qing Dynasty, the art of Jing Tai Lan reached its peak. Captivated by this special decorative art, Zhang made up his mind to take Jing Tai Lan to the world stage. He learned many different combinations of art forms.
For example, in Jing Tai Lan, the art of sculpting jade inlays, embroidery, embedding of precious stones, engraving, all put together is very time-consuming. We use precious gemstones, so each artwork is very precious.
Today, true masters of the art are hard to come by.
In China, there is only my father who understands the complete art of Jing Tai Lan. He also understands other related arts, including stalk pattern inlays, jade carving, and copper engraving, which can be combined in a flexible way.
Zhang's creations are unique, showing exquisite style and high quality of production. The pieces are filled with the spirit of traditional Chinese culture.
This decorative art primarily comes from traditional Chinese culture. The content it displays is all our Chinese auspicious designs to increase your wealth and bring you good fortune.
During the visit, Zhang displays 5 items. One of them is the dragon sitting in floral grass, which was sold for $1.6 million in 2006.
Taiwan is increasingly relaxing regulations on mainland Chinese visiting the island. Last year, mainlanders made a total of over 2 million visits to Taiwan. A survey showed Taiwan as one of the top 10 Asian destinations for mainland Chinese tourists. Many say it's the traditional aspects of their own culture that are preserved in Taiwan that attract them.
In front of the National Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in Taipei, coach after coach of mainland Chinese visitors arrive, their numbers increasing year after year. Last year, over 2.5 million mainland Chinese visited Taiwan. The Taiwanese Tourism Bureau is considering to raise the limit on the number of mainland tourists allowed to visit, either on their own or part of a tour group, each by 1,000 per day. So what's attracting these mainland Chinese people to visit Taiwan?
Over here, the natural environment is preserved very well. It makes people feel calm, and you can feel its beauty. I also really like the people here. They're very passionate, they're good to us.
Everyone is very passionate, and also the traditional Chinese culture is preserved very well here. Yes, I really like Taiwan.
There is a lot of traditional Chinese culture preserved here in Taiwan, so we all want to come over here and have a look.
Since 1949, Taiwan has been ruled independently from mainland China. Taiwan did not suffer from the widespread destruction of traditional culture that occurred in the mainland under communist rule. In the 1990s, Taiwan adopted democracy with a 2-major political party system. In its 2013 report, Freedom House, the U.S. independent watchdog organization, rates Taiwan as a free country. Traditional Chinese culture, democratic values, and passionate people have made a deep and lasting impression in the hearts of many mainland Chinese tourists. Currently, more than 500 mainland Chinese arrive daily as individual travelers to experience Taiwan's culture.
And the process of the Taiwanese society opening up and becoming more pluralistic, through traveling freely, the mainland visitors can experience it more deeply. It also allows Taiwanese people to be kind, passionate, and sincere to the mainland tourists, making it the most valuable memory in their hearts about their trip to Taiwan.
To promote free travel for mainland Chinese visitors, the Mainland Affairs Council chose the theme of warmth and kindness of the Taiwanese people in this advertisement. While attracting more mainlanders is not popular amongst some Taiwanese, it looks like a growing number of mainlanders will be arriving on Taiwanese shores in the near future.
And that's all for this week. We will be back next Friday with a special episode for Chinese New Year, introducing some of the traditions and historical roots of this most important Chinese festival.